it is a night game, do you think toss could be a factor? And going into this Super 8 clash, you didn't have that much of a bedding in time in these conditions. So could that be an issue?
Yeah, I mean, in the subcontinent, the toss always plays somewhat of a factor depending on the conditions. To be honest, I haven't seen the wicket yet, so I don't actually know what the pitch looks like. So I guess it's pretty hard for me to comment right now. But yeah, I mean, there'll be discussions behind the scenes with the senior leadership group as to what we want to do, and then also understanding whether dew will play a factor as well here. And then batting-wise in these conditions, whilst we haven't played in Sri Lanka yet, for a lot of the guys, they've played a lot of cricket here, so I don't see that playing too much of a factor. I think guys understand what they need to do on slower wickets and in turning conditions, so we're pretty confident that we'll face up to whatever conditions are in front of us.
Hi Mark. You guys, your batting has been clicking quite some time. You've only had a chance to bat twice across this tournament. But on the bowling side, you all have been leaking runs. Do you attribute that to the pitches over in India, or do you think it's something that you guys maybe need to work on?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say leaking runs, but I think in India we've seen that the pitches, particularly on red soil, have been favourable for batting. So it's been pretty tough for the bowlers. The margins have been pretty small. I mean, you've seen a lot of games nearing that 200 score regularly. So I think the bowlers have certainly had a little bit of a challenge, and I think here obviously it's slightly different with the slower nature of the pitches. The bowlers will hopefully get a chance to really show off their skills, and I know that spin is probably more likely to play a part here in particular. So we'll just wait and see what the pitch looks like.
Hi Mark, New Zealand is a very good batting side, especially against spinners in these conditions. So Pakistan also has a very good spin attack, especially if you talk about Usman Khan. He's been talk of the town in this tournament. India also prepared for him, especially. And do you think do you say New Zealand will prepare especially for him, or it will be normal for every other spinner Pakistan has?
I mean, obviously, Usman Tariq has a pretty unique action with the way that he stops the crease. So, I mean, that's something to factor in. But for us, as you've mentioned, Pakistan have a number of really good spinners in their side. So, each of them poses their own threat. So, Pakistan's one of the teams that we've played probably the most frequently over the last few years. So, we're well aware of what they're going to bring. So for us, it's just about making sure we're really clear in the way that we want to play as a team.
Just a couple of things. I hope the knee is fine. It is looking pretty strapped up. And second, you guys have done this really well at certain subcontinents. So the question of playing spin is certainly not something that New Zealand cricket is worried about. But if you could talk about how your specific role in the middle order, because now pitches are slowing down, there will be wear, tear, and Sri Lankan condition, they do help spinners. So, I mean, if you could talk about how you prepare against the spin, is it something that, I guess it's a power hitting game, but is there any special way of training, playing against the spinner that you go through the routine?
Yeah, I think here especially, given obviously the slower nature of the pitch along with the slightly bigger boundaries as well, you have to certainly change your game plan. I guess for me personally, batting in the middle, I could be in potentially in the power play or in with very few overs to go. So I guess specifically against the spinners, it's probably looking at different options around, like whether you employ a sweep shot more or a reverse sweep. Whereas I guess in India, where it doesn't spin as much, you can look to target the straight boundaries a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, each batter has their own method. But I guess for myself, it's looking at different areas of the ground to hit, and obviously there's big pockets here too. So it's not all about sixes on this ground. Lots of twos, lots of fours, and running hard between the wickets is really important as well, particularly if it's not a very high score.
Hey Mark, it's Shakil Peter from Pakistan Public TV. Mark, everyone is criticizing the ICC Super 8 stages because all of the toppers from the other groups are in Group 1 and from the second position are in the Group 2nd. Do you think it's a little bit unfair that all of the toppers are in the one group and the others are in the second group? And second, add that, you have already mentioned about the Pakistan bowling, but New Zealand top orders are doing pretty well. So it could be a dangerous for the Pakistan.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to scheduling and planning, that's not really my domain, and for me to comment on. So to be honest, I haven't really thought about it too much. And then when it comes to obviously Pakistan bowling's been going really well, but obviously our batting's been going well too. So I guess the guys will just come in, make their respective plans against their bowlers, and then try and execute on the day.
You need to understand specific relevant questions has to be asked. The questions that the player cannot ask, you should not ask. That's not fair. Okay.
How big an advantage it is to play all 3 Super 8 matches at the same venue?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you play in these tournaments, I guess one of the challenges is hopping from venue to venue and adapting. And I guess playing all 3 games here, we'll learn each game as we go. So yeah, I think for us, it's quite nice to be able to turn up to the same place and the same venue, similar pitches, and adjust. So tomorrow's our first game here, so we're going to have to adapt anyway. But we'll look at that later on and understand the conditions a little bit better. So I think certainly it's something that we're not complaining about.
Final question.
Just in terms of team news, is Santa feeling all right because he missed the game last game because he was a bit unwell, and are there any other concerns?
Yeah, Mitch Santner, he looks pretty sprightly, so I think he's pretty excited to get back on par. Barring any last minute sickness, I think he'll be there. Obviously, Lockie has left us. I think he's currently on the way back, so I think he's landing potentially tonight. So we'll just see how he pulls up from the flight. So I can't confirm or say whether he'll be in the 11 or not. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Pakistani press conference.